Well, the two people who hang in my office, my wife always teases me about my books. Yeah, I have hundreds of books in my office, most of them old. But the two people who hang in my office are John Wesley and Francis Asbury. The person of the two who I am most inspired by is probably Francis Asbury. Sent as a young man from England to America, and never went back. Had to hide out during the American Revolution because he was British, and everybody thought he was a sympathizer. All the other British pastors had gone home because they were sympathizers. So they fled America and went back to England. But Francis Asbury was so committed to his American Methodists that he stayed. He had to be hidden. He came back out, and he was the most recognized person after the Revolutionary War. More people recognized Francis Asbury by face than George Washington, because he traveled 5,000 miles a year, all on horseback, year after year after year. And again, he never went back home. He adopted America as his country, and it just speaks volumes to the kind of dedication. So inspirationally, he didn't leave us any works either. John Wesley published books all the time. Francis Asbury left us a journal, and just about that's about all, because he was at the task. And so when I think for a role model, Francis Asbury probably stands out in my mind.
Great.
Personally, one of the largest influences in my life is my dad. I was raised in a Christian home, and then a chaplain at Spring Arbor University, where I went to school, a man named Ron Capico. And I always talk about these two people in this way. I mean, how do you really categorize the influence that a father has? But when it came to me personally, my dad taught me how to love the Word. And I was able to grow up in a church home, pastor's home for part of that time. My dad was a public educator, but then a pastor. And I emerged from that with a love for the Word. Went to Spring Arbor and was discipled by Ron, and he taught me how to actually study the Word. So I came away from a home loving the Word, and I came away from college with a passion to study the Word. And if you can emerge as a 22-year-old young man with those two things intact, I think it really sets you on a positive trajectory for the rest of your life.